In my prior video, I was showing that the Mediterranean Sea area and the land surrounding it and the islands were part of an area that were full of mythology of Nephilim giants, evidence of Nephilim giants, and things that were named for Nephilim giants, since this was the pre- and post-flood area of where their pantheon of gods were. So their gods were named after these creatures, and there were legends of these creatures, etc., very prevalent in this area of the Mediterranean. And then I realized that Medi means middle, and it's actually Latin for in the middle of, and Terran means earth. So the Mediterranean translates from Latin to in the middle of the earth. So Middle Earth. Well, in J.R.R. Tolkien's setting of his stories, Middle Earth is the setting, and it's a human inhabited world that is the central continent of the earth. It's also called Arda. So here you see a depiction of it titled The Two Lamps of Arda. So the two lamps of earth, and it's a disc, and it has two lamps, the moon and the sun. In this depiction are the lamps. So in Genesis 1:16, God made two great lights, the larger one to govern the day, and the smaller one to govern the night. He also made the stars. They know the earth is flat. Of course they do. They just lie to us about it. Middle Earth is the main continent of Earth, Arda, in his story. In the past, ending with Tolkien's Third Age about 6,000 years ago. That would have been the time of the flood. The west part of Middle Earth suggests Europe, the northwest the Old World, and the environments were the Shire, which is reminiscent of England, but more specifically the West Midlands, with its town at the center at the same latitude as Oxford. And it's the same latitude as Oxford because that's where Tolkien went to school. And we've talked about Oxford before, and he was also a professor there. He was a Knight of the Crown, Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, and Fellowship of the Royal Society. Tolkien's Middle Earth is populated not only by men, but by elves, dwarves, hobbits, dragons, trolls, orcs. Through the imagined history, the peoples, other than men, dwindle, leave, or fade until after the period described in the books. Only men are left on the planet 6,000 years ago, so they also know the real history as well as biblical cosmology. They just lie to us about it. And I imagine if the earth was a pre-flood Pangea type situation, this part that's the Mediterranean, you kind of see, but it's right over here, that could have been the middle of the earth if everything was all together and squished together. Thanks for listening.